At the corner of Ennerdale and Warren, you're listening to our C Radio 77.7 FM, Raccoon's Voice.
You know we love a good game here on RC Radio 77.7 FM, but let's just say, sometimes a team, they really grab your attention, you know.
Definitely.
And this week, we are diving deep into a team, a local team, that is making waves.
Big time.
The Raccoon City Sharks.
That's right. They are on fire.
They are on fire, and we are breaking down their unstoppable climb to the top of those Arclay standings.
Yeah, and you know what? It really has been quite a climb. We're talking 3 consecutive home game wins now, after they demolished those Stone-Ville Cougars at Warren Stadium just last night.
I was listening glued to my radio.
Oh, absolutely.
Our listeners glued to their radios. That energy at Warren Stadium must have been incredible.
Electric. And you know, it's easy to get caught up in the thrill of a winning streak, but this victory for the Sharks, it goes beyond just, you know, being on a roll. You have to remember that the Cougars, they were coming off a pretty brutal loss against Burlington. To see the Sharks just capitalize on that vulnerability like that, I mean, that speaks volumes about their strategy this season.
It really does. And speaking of strategy, we have to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, James Marlene. Our listeners want to know, what makes this guy such a standout quarterback, especially with, you know, those 2 new guys on the defensive line? That's got to be tough, right?
Right. And you know what? Yeah. Marlene, he's remarkable. And it's not just about raw talent. It's his consistency, especially given that defensive line shakeup you mentioned. This game, this wasn't just about consistency, though. This was about domination. It was like watching a chess match, except with, you know, way more shoulder pads.
Yeah.
His ability to anticipate the Cougars' defense, he exploited every weakness, racked up a phenomenal completion percentage, and just led the Sharks to score 3 consecutive touchdowns in the first half alone.
See, and that's what gets me right.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns in the first half.
Yep.
I mean, were the Cougars even ready to play?
Well, they tried to.
I mean, come on.
Rally in the second.
Okay, before we get to that, we have to talk about this halftime show. Chief Irons, really.
Oh, boy.
The sources make it sound interesting.
Oh, yeah. Let's just say Chief Irons, he lived up to his colorful reputation. You could say that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Showed up at halftime, right on cue, got the expected chorus of boos. It wouldn't be a Raccoon City event without it, and even threw in a charming hand gesture for good measure.
Oh, no. Classic Irons.
The classic irony.
Only in Raccoon City, am I right?
Only in Raccoon City.
All right, so second half, the Cougars, they pulled themselves together, I'm assuming.
Well, you got to give them credit. They came back fighting in the second half, right? 2 touchdowns and a field goal. But let's be real, they spent the whole game playing catch-up. Marini's steady hand throughout both halves was a major factor in securing that 32-20 victory.
A decisive victory for the Sharks.
Oh.
So speaking of those cheering on our hometown heroes, anyone we might recognize in the crowd, the sources mentioned a certain proud papa in the stands.
Oh, absolutely. Officer Enrico Marini, James's dad, he was spotted beaming with pride. Must be quite a feeling seeing your son out there like that, leading his team to victory.
It's heartwarming, you know. I mean, sure, they're the Sharks. They're tough. They're out there to win. But that father-son pride, that gets me every time. Okay, so bottom line, this win, it keeps the Sharks reigning over those Arclay East standings. What's next for them?
Next week, they face off against Old Court. Now, here's something interesting. The sources pointed out this was actually the Cougars' second visit to Raccoon City this season.
Wait, really? For real?
For real. Think about their travel schedule.
Brutal.
Brutal. All those away games, it takes a toll.
Makes you wonder, right?
It really does. Are the Sharks truly unstoppable? Or are those poor Cougars just worn out from all that travel?
It makes you think.
It really does.
Well, you've been listening to The Deep Dive, right here on RC Radio 77.7 FM, bringing you all the sports news that matters. Until next time, Raccoon City, stay sharp.
Rich Clothes is a diverse collection of women's fashions designed to reflect the tastes of the wealthy elite world in which they live. If you are looking for elegant, fine clothes that make a statement without being gaudy and tasteless, then Rich Clothes fashion line is for you.
You can find Rich Clothes located in the Raccoon Promenade, right next to Moo's Donuts in downtown Raccoon City.